Hola chicos y chicas. In this video, we're going to look at the word tener and tener que. Okay, before we look at the word tener and tener que specifically, let's talk about what conjugating verbs are. It's essentially what we're doing today with tener and tener que. We're going to be conjugating this verb. So, conjugating is changing the verb to match it with who is doing it in the sentence. So again, conjugating is changing the verb to match it with who is doing it. Now I know you're going to say, oh my gosh, Spanish is already very confusing. Conjugating, what is this? Spanish, crazy. But actually, we conjugate in English too. So for example, the verb to have changes with who is doing it in the sentence. So for example, we can't say I to have. We must say I have. What about for he? Do we say he have or he has? We say he has. So changing have to has is called conjugating. We do it in English. We just do it a little bit more in Spanish. So let's take a look at tener. So what kind of verb is this? As we know, we're going to look at the word tener, which means to have, and also tener que, which means to have to. And actually, these work the same way. The only difference is we're adding que, which is an extra to here. All right, the verb is, of course, tener. So on the left-hand side, we have our subject pronouns, which we can't forget about these. We use them in all of the charts that we use for grammar purposes. And in this side, we have the verb tener and how it's going to change according to the subject pronoun. So the verb tener in the yo form is going to change to tengo. In the tú form, tener is going to change to tienes. In the usted, él en ella form, tener is going to change to tiene. In the nosotros and nosotras form, tienes changes to tenemos. Now notice that tenemos doesn't include this I that this form and this form has. The tenemos form does not include that I, so it's a little bit different than the rest. In the ustedes form, tener changes to tienen. And finally, in the ellos and ellas form, even though these are different subject pronouns, we use them to refer to different people. Tener is exactly the same as the ustedes. It's tienen. So there it is, conjugating tener according to our subject pronouns. Very simple, right? It'll be a good idea to memorize these in that order too. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, and tienen. Let's look at some examples now. Number 1 says, tú blank la tarea. Remember, we're using the verb tener, which we have the chart on our right-hand side. So, tú, we just match it up, tú. We find it here, and we just match it up, tienes. It is that easy. It's that simple. We've done this with other words several times. Number 2, Héctor blank que estudiar mucho. In English, this means Héctor has to study a lot. So we're looking for the word has, which of course it's found in this chart. We just got to find the right one. Well, we know that Héctor is of course one person, which means it's singular. It's not yo, so we can't use tengo. It is not tú. It needs to say tú, just like number 1. So we cross out tú, the tú form, because it doesn't say it, which leaves us with only this box and only this box. Because remember, it's singular. It wasn't more than one person. Héctor is one. So the verb is tiene. Number 3, Henry y María blank la clase de arte. Henry and Maria have art class. So we know a couple of things. We know Henry and Maria, those are two separate people, which means we're going to eliminate all of the singular options. In order for it to be tenemos, the nosotros form, it needs to say y yo. But does it say y yo in the sentence? If we look at this entire sentence, and more specifically, if we look at the subjects, does it say Henry, Maria, and I, y yo? It does not, so we're going to eliminate the nosotros form, which will eliminate tenemos, and look at this. Both of these are exactly the same. So it's obvious that the verb is going to be tienen. Number 4, yo blank practica a las 8:30. I have practice at 8:30. So this is piece of cake here. Yo, right there, tengo. There is no other option because it's only one person, I. Number 5, Sam y yo blank la clase español. Sam and I have Spanish class. Oh, okay, so we do have yo, but we can't just select tengo. No. We can't just select that. Why? Because there's another person, Sam and I, which means we eliminate all of the singular options, leaves us with either tenemos or tienen. Remember, these two are the same right here. So, does it say y yo and I? Does it? Yes, right here, y yo, which means that this is going to be the nosotros form, which is tenemos. Sam y yo tenemos la clase de español. Sam and I have Spanish class. 6, usted blank una oficina. You have an office. Okay, one person, usted, talking to one person, eliminate the plural already, does not say yo. Remember, it needs to say yo. It needs to say tú in order for it to be tienes. And again, usted is right there. Our verb is tiene una oficina. You have an office. 7, Diana y tú blank que estudiar. Diana and you have to study. All right, we know that Diana is one person, and it looks like I'm also talking to another person. So remember, Diana, one person, but I'm also talking to another, which means there's two people that I'm referring to. So if that's the case, two people that I'm referring to, then eliminate singular options already. It does not say y yo. Remember, it needs to say y yo, but it doesn't. So we're going to eliminate tenemos. And again, these two are exactly the same. So our verb is tienen que estudiar. Diana y tú tienen que estudiar. Diana and you have to study. Number 8, mis amigas blank que caminar a la escuela. My friends have to walk to school. Okay, mis amigas, my friends. More than one, right? Friends. So if that's the case, again, eliminate all of the singular options. And we're left with two options, tenemos or tienen. Now, here's the big question again. Does the sentence include I and I? The answer is no, it does not include I, so we're going to eliminate nosotros. Again, the verb is tienen. Yo blank que estudiar mucho. I have to study a lot. Okay, yo, right here, verb tengo. This is a question. ¿Qué clases blank tu mañana? Okay, so because it's a question in Spanish, we sometimes put the subject after the verb. Right here, tú, you. So, in this case, tú is found aquí. Our verb is aquí, tienes. Which means, ¿qué clases tienes tú mañana? What classes do you have tomorrow? Easy, right? The concept is fairly simple. Conjugated according to who is doing it in the sentence. Now, the verb tener is a little bit tricky because it does change spelling in a few places. Like in the yo form, it's tengo. But then in the tú and in the él and ella, we put that I in the middle. Tiene and tienes. And then, of course, in the nosotros form, it changes to tenemos and then back again to tienen in the ustedes, ellos, and ellas form. Again, it's a good idea to memorize these in that order too, so that it's more helpful when you do any of the assignments. Okay, that's it. Adios.